doing all that work. Alright, are you recording? Yeah. Alright, so today I'm going to make ramen. So I'm going to use this pan along with my top conventional oven. Some of my ingredients are 1 packet of ramen chicken noodles, or chicken flavor. Got some Crisco for my oil. I have some seasonings, garlic and onion powder. As well, I'm going to use about half a packet of the actual chicken flavoring. So, there it is. Getting my little spatula ready. And right now I'm currently heating up the pan. I'm about to add some oil. You just need just enough to cover the bottom so the noodles have something to cook on. I'd say probably about 2 tablespoons. Along with that, I'm using just a regular spatula. I've seen, at other times I've used a fork or the spoon, whichever I'm going to eat with the bowl as well. So you just want to kind of cover the whole pan with oil. My pan was already preheated, so the oil's almost ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and crunch up the noodles. I like my noodles crunched up. You can do it not crunched up and crunch them up later, or you can leave them whole. I just kind of like them crunched up, so probably couldn't hear me over that. I like mine crunched up because it's a little bit easier to cook in the oil. Alright, and before I actually touch the food, I'm going to wash my hands one last time. I already did that, but I've already touched the oil and the oven and everything, so I'm going to do it one more time. Gonna move my stuff over there. Okay. So right now my oil is actually pretty heated. Gonna go ahead and try to open my ramen noodles with some wet hands. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle it in. You want to be careful not to get the seasoning packet in there. Done that a couple times. Set the seasoning packet to the side, and I'm just going to currently mix up the noodles with the oil. I've noticed I did not put enough, so maybe you might want to make that 3 tablespoons. I kind of want to just add just enough oil to kind of bring out the nutty smell to the noodles, as my chefs used to say. It's kind of like a popcorny aroma. You kind of just have to smell it to know what it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and stir these up. I'm almost going to like fry the noodles pretty much in the oil. I'm going to go ahead and let them cook until they lightly brown. You don't want them too brown because then they're not very good with soaking up the water. Seth, why don't you come on over here, man?
No, take this out. Running a covert op for Cheez-Its.
That's my roommate, Seth Rogen. I'm trying to get him to come over here and talk about how great my noodles are.
God damn it! Give me the fucking Cheez-Its. It's easy to edit.
This is my roommate, Seth Rogen. He doesn't like it when I do that, but he wears my glasses, he looks exactly like Seth Rogen, and we all have fun. I'm going to keep stirring them around in the oil, try to make it all good. takes just about maybe 5 minutes, I'd say. Might be a little less, and I've never timed it. This is normally my broke dish when I have no money left, and I just use a couple leftovers along with it. Now, if you can go ahead and see how the noodles are slightly turning brown. They're almost there. Some of them are still a little white, but I'm going to just go ahead and keep going with it. Some of the big clusters won't actually brown since they're so much bigger. They're not really soaking up as much oil. And for me, oh my goodness, I melted my spatula. That is not good. Please use metal spatulas in this next video. I only have one package of ramen noodles left, so therefore I cannot remake this video, so I'm going to go ahead and just keep going with this. Let's set that to the side to cool down for a second. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to get my water ready. I normally like to use my bowl. It's kind of a guesstimate, but I'd probably say just about a cup, maybe a cup and a half of water. Just enough to cover the noodles. As you can see, they're pretty toasted by now. So I'm going to go ahead and just add the one. Normally, if I have a meat, as such as like I'm using the chicken flavoring, I would use some leftover chicken. Maybe if I'm using shrimp, I'd use leftover shrimp, or if I had steak, I'd use that with the beef seasoning ramen. But I'd normally add that in while the oil was still in there to allow it to reheat with the noodles, and then the water would go in just about when the meat is done reheating. Now I'm just going to pretty much cook this until the water is completely out. So I'm just going to keep stirring to keep from burning. I actually like to normally use butter, but we are currently out, so we just have some Crisco. I feel like butter brings a whole better taste palette to the meal. But you can do this with actually I prefer to cook this in a cast iron skillet. They work a little bit better, but again, we're poor. So we just have this little saute pan, I guess you'd say. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of wait and let this cook for a second. Apparently we have nothing to drink, so I'm just going to let this sit here real quick for a second. I'm going to talk to my roommate for 1 second. Alright, so the water's about halfway cooked out now. You can see the noodles tighten to start to absorb the water. And you gotta be careful to make sure that you don't dry them out too much. But you gotta make sure that they don't dry out, because with that it causes burning, or if you add too much water you can actually over soak the noodles. And my spatula is right here. Great. So right now I got my drink with me, and I'm going to add a little bit of extra flavoring to it. Just about 4 ounces. Give or take. Great. So I'm gonna just keep stirring these noodles. Actually, when you have meat added in it, it soaks up some water. So I think I might have added too much water, so it's gonna take me a little bit longer than expected. So I'm just gonna keep stirring them, making sure the noodles on bottom don't actually stay there too long and burn. So I'm just gonna slightly fold them into each other to continuously flip them around. I've messed the spatula up so bad. I definitely need to start using metal. If you can hear anything in the background, it is my cat running around this apartment currently. Gonna go ahead and get my bowl set up. Bowl and fork. Perfect. Now right now, when there's a little bit of water, I'm gonna actually add my seasonings. I like to, the packet is okay, but I like to kind of season it up. So I'm about to add maybe a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of onion powder and garlic powder each. Just kind of depends. You kind of can move it to your own taste. And then that's when I'm going to take this chicken packet seasoning. And it has some nice flavors in it, but I feel like the chicken flavoring actually is a little bit too much for me. So as you can hear, the noodles are almost done, the water's almost dried out, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. It won't turn off, so hold on one second. There it goes. I'm going to move it to the back burner. I'm going to continue to, well, I'll move it to the side burner so I can still be seen. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep moving it around, kind of mixing the seasonings. And now I'm going to add the chicken flavoring. Seth Rogen always cracking jokes while I'm trying to cook. So yeah, it's about that's just about half a packet. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more, but I feel like it gives it too much of an artificial flavoring, a lot of fake sodium and MSG not needed, even though I added my own seasonings to it as well. But it gives it a real unnatural color, and I kind of like my food to look decent. I don't like it to look like Gatorade yellow. So I'm just going to continue to stir it until it's nice and meat. And if you can see, the noodles look a little different than normal, because with the oil is actually going to cook out of it with the water. And so it kind of gives it a shine to it instead of normal ramen noodles just cooked with regular water. So I'm going to go ahead and set my bowl up. Almost dropped it. I'm going to let them kind of just sit, kind of cool down for a second. Vape Nation. It's an inside joke, I apologize. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my bowl now. And I've made a mess. So I'm going to go ahead and set that where it's not hot. I'm going to go ahead and test out the food real quick. See if I need to add any more seasoning. Perfect college food. I actually sometimes like to add crackers to mine if I don't have meat, but we were also out of crackers. But that's my little meal for tonight. So thank you very much and have a wonderful day. Also, sorry this is really late. Had to go all the way around to turn it off.